Good morning, basketball fans. Welcome to Bellline Fiber Up TV1's coverage of the Hall of Fame Cup here in the Powerplex in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Today we have the men's basketball game, the final before us. It's going to be Corner Brook Titans versus the Holy Heart Highlanders. But before we get into that action, we're going to catch up with the MVP of the previous game on the winning side for Waterford Valley High, Lauren Shallow. She's here with Steve Power. Steve, take it away.
Here with the most valuable player of the ladies championship game, Lauren Shallow from Waterford Valley High. I'm probably going to nickname you Princess Elsa, Lauren, because you had ice in your veins that game. What did you think of your performance individually?
I thought I did pretty good, I guess. I made a lot of threes. I don't really do that a lot, so.
So not known for your three-point shooting, but I tell you what, you had some timely three-point attempts. Were you very nervous out there?
No, not really. It's just a game, so I wasn't that nervous.
That is an absolutely fantastic answer. It is just a game. Talk about the St. Kevin's team. Was that game as close as you thought it'd be, or were you a little surprised by what they brought to the table?
No, not at all. They're really good at defending and stuff, so I wasn't really surprised about that. They're a really good team, so.
Congratulations, Lauren, an MVP performance, top notch. I think it's going to be Princess Elsa from here on in. Back to you, Jeremy.
That's Lauren Shallow, the MVP of the previous game, and she was unconscious from the land beyond. 25 points on, I think you looked it up, 6 of 10 from three-point land.
Correction, 7 three-pointers, 25 points, Jeremy. Unbelievable, very deserving of the MVP in that fantastic women's final. Looking for another fantastic final here with the men's side.
As we have tip-off underway, we're going to throw quickly now to Bill Murphy on the sidelines with Steve Power. He's the Executive Director of Newfoundland Labrador Basketball Association, and then we'll resume action. So over to you again, Steve.
Here with Bill Murphy, the Executive Director for Newfoundland Labrador Basketball Association. Bill, real successful Hall of Fame Cup. What's your take on the event overall?
It's great. This is number 17. They've all been successful. But after that championship game on the girls' side, it just adds to the flavor, and it makes it great for the spectators and all the volunteers. It just makes it's great for the game. Simple as that.
And speaking of volunteers, you told me off camera, the officials for this event all volunteered their time. That's absolutely unbelievable for a provincial governing body. And good on you and good on the officials, and they do a great job, don't you think?
They do an awesome job for this event. This is their 17th year. We have a very healthy relationship with our officials association. They're awesome to work with. And yes, they do these free of charge, and they have been doing it for 17 years.
Thanks, Bill. Now on to the Corner Brook Titans and the Holy Heart of Mary Highlanders. Jeremy, back to you for the call.
All right, thanks, Steve. When we catch you up, Tyler Wise makes this 2-2 your score. First points on the game on the scoreboard for Corner Brook. Jeremy Reynolds here alongside Scott, our color guy.
Jeremy,
yourself a coach. You know, you train a lot of these young players with some insight. Give us some insight into the Highlanders and into the Corner Brook Titans.
I mean, this Corner Brook Titans team is essentially our provincial basketball team. 5 members of the provincial team and the head coach. And the number 1 team for a reason. Very tough team. Very tough team, not only in this province to beat, anywhere in Canada to beat. If Holy Heart is going to beat this team, Holy Heart have got to continue the momentum they've gained from winning their own invitational championship last week. They've been playing very well into the rounds of this tournament. Shot selection is going to be a key for this Holy Heart team to win, and they have to keep this big mountain-ish Titans team off the boards.
Baseline drive, denied by Dobbin. And then he's there for the rebound. Chris Dobbin, a player for Corner Brook who myself and my broadcasting partner Theo nicknamed the Octopus last year for his ability to get his tentacles into the passing lanes, get on the offensive and defensive glass as well, and swatting shots. I think unofficially, and we didn't actually look at the scores table sheet last year, but I think he had a triple-double with blocks, rebounds, and points in the championship game last year.
Not surprised. Dobbin is, one of my favorite players in the province. Just a ferocious competitor, long, talented, great touch, a bright future ahead for this Corner Brook basketball player.
As McIsaac misses the three.
Shot selection, like I mentioned earlier, the 2-3 attempts that we've seen coming, falling away from the basket, not coming out of their offense. Great take down the middle by Chris Hughes.
Chris Hughes with 4 points for his Corner Brook side. Losing the ball on the way to the basket was Bambrick. We didn't have a chance off the get-go, so we'll recap the starting lineup with Corner Brook. Tyler
A little stagnant on the offensive side for Holy Heart. Ball stayed on that right side of the floor. 4 or 5 passes, didn't really get very far, and then they settled for a three-pointer. That is a tough shot by a tough young player, Liam Chislett. His dad played with Munn in the 40s.
The 40s? You're joking.
I am joking. I am joking. His dad Billy played with Munn in the late 80s, and you know, as a young player growing up, I really looked up to Billy Chislett, one of my favorite players on the Munn team. I had a lot of them.
Bambrick crosses over, spin move. Denied by Dobbin, but a foul. We'll see who they take it against. My guess is Barker.
Bambrick trying to bull his way into the paint there, doing a good job getting to the free throw line. This is the kind of play that Holy Heart wants to engage this Corner Brook team. Grind it out, take good shots, pick your moments to attack the basketball. You do not want to get into a run and gun game, and you do not want to hesitate against this tough, long, talented Corner Brook team.
And the timeout will be taken by Coach Frank Fu on the Corner Brook bench. And Chris Dobbin was the guilty party on that last foul, so it was not Barker. And if Holy Heart is going to be successful, one of the keys to that will be getting Dobbin into foul trouble early, because they don't have a rim protector like him. Although Matt Bennett is growing into a rim protector on the Corner Brook side. He's in grade 11 right now. He's a transfer, used to play for Stephenville. But I was talking to Frank Fu yesterday. He's grooming Bennett to become the rim protector when Dobbin graduates at the end of the season.
I mean, Frank Fu, provincial team coach and your high school coach. What a dream for a young athlete out in the Corner Brook area. Holy Heart has to get somebody into foul trouble, whether it's Dobbin or Nathan Barker. Somebody on this Corner Brook team has to go to the bench. And what better way to send them to the bench than to take it at them and be aggressive and get to the foul line just like Bambrick's doing right now.
The first free throw will drop. Highlanders into double figures. Bambrick automatic from the line. Back to a 3-point lead for Corner Brook as the Highlanders have battled back here. Hughes open on the wing, dumps it inside for Taylor off the bench. Back to Hughes for 3. Draws iron.
Hughes a little bit hesitant to pull the trigger. Like to see him get that shot off the first time.
Paul Anderson drifts out of bounds on the baseline.
Again, young Liam Chislett needs to take care of that basketball. Making these big 35, 40-foot passes, maybe take a couple extra dribbles up, try to draw the defender towards him, and then make the dump off inside for an easy bucket.
And traveling is Hancock. So Corner Brook, for the first time that I've seen in the tournament, the offense starting to run up against some stiff defense.
This is a tough Holy Heart group. Coach Bruce is a tough coach, and these players are going to grind it out and fight and trying to disrupt that Corner Brook flow. They want this game to be ugly.
In the corner, Hancock got it. Long 2.
Lots of firepower on both teams. Nick Fowler on the bench for Holy Heart had a great game last night.
Bambrick dribble inside, passes out, and it's out of the reach of Linehan.
Right idea, wrong result for Holy Heart. Dribble penetration and a kick. You have to have your feet set and your hands ready. Catch the ball with your eyes.
Hancock using the Barker pick. Hughes inside, Dobbin on the block, back to Hughes, and then he can't reach out and grab it.
Holy Heart needs to get a little bit better at closing out on that wing, and Dobbin just waltzed right across the key, have to step up in front, bump him. Make every step he takes a tough step, especially in your own key.
Here comes Hancock. Taylor travels before the pass.
Lucky Holy Heart have to get back. Defender basket bailed out with a travel call.
Linehan. McIsaac. To Anderson. McIsaac for three. Falls short, and Dobbin is there. Dobbin goes all the way himself. Hands off for Hughes, who hits from about 14 feet out. Lead extended back to 7 for Corner Brook.
Corner Brook seem to be pulling ahead a little bit here. Holy Heart needs to get some good looks at the basket. Not a bad look. Needs some bodies crashing the floor. Crashing the boards, excuse me.
Barker on the block, passes out. Hancock for three. Hughes flies in, sticks the putback
What
with the left hand.
Fantastic play a la Larry Bird with the rebound and the putback with the left hand.
Linehan in the
Gotta
corner.
move this basketball, Holy Heart. Very hesitant.
Chislett pulls up inside the three-point arc. Rebound to Anderson. 1 minute left in the first. Chislett directing traffic. Tries to split the defenders. Ball goes between the legs of Anderson. Turnaround shot, a tough one, draws iron. There's Barker.
I said it before, I'll say it again. Shot selection. Need to get stuff creating, moving towards the basket within the flow of your offense. Catching the basketball in rhythm. Sam McIsaac more than capable of hitting these shots, just needs to be in rhythm.
And Scott, you were talking about the hesitation on the Highlander side and taking the basketball to the hoop. You don't see that on the Corner Brook side, although you do see a turnover here. Alley-oop attempt and rebounded by Barker.
This Corner Brook team, very stoic.
Catch and shoot, Hancock. There's Dobbin for the putback.
I'd be stoic too if I had Dobbin down low, if I was shooting from the outside.
Wouldn't be afraid to put a shot up because
absolutely not. I mean, to have the presence of those two players down low just gives the perimeter a lot of confidence for Holy Heart.
Buzzer sounds, the first quarter is over. 22-11 the score, as Corner Brook has effectively doubled the output through one of the Highlanders basketball squad. So with that, we're going to head over to Steve Power, who has his thoughts on the first quarter. Take it away, Steve. So wait until he gets a microphone in his hand. You're watching Bell Alliant Fiber Up TV 1. Our coverage of the Hall of Fame Cup here at the Powerplex in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. And Bell Alliant, there's more to love with Fiber Up. And now we do have Steve.
Now we're good to go. I tell you what, my thoughts are, I don't know if I'm at a gymnasium this morning or if I'm at a drive-in theater watching a 50s-style horror movie, because these guys from Corner Brook are monsters. Unbelievable. I think Scott made the comment about you can be stoic. You could just be asleep here and just throw the ball anywhere near the rim. These guys are bringing it down. Barker, Dobbin, unbelievable. Frankly, I don't know what Holy Heart's got to do to get into it. They've got to start making shots, obviously. Shot selection from anywhere. Just start getting the ball to drop. There's got to be some kind of pressure or panic put into Corner Brook, because right now it looks like the Titans are just going through the motions, and it's business as usual for Corner Brook.
Thanks, Steve. I have to agree with Dobbin underneath. He is a monster. That's why one of the reasons why we gave him the nickname the Octopus. Manages to get his hands. I mean, he sweeps the defensive glass and he crashes the offensive boards. Not only that, but he's a tall guy who can run the floor as well. So it's kind of like pick your poison with this Titans squad.
You know, the other skill that Dobbin has besides the length and the nickname the Octopus, you know, he's just got great anticipation skills. You know, those and timing. That's very hard to teach. Not every athlete is gifted with that, and he has got the total package finishing in traffic. Great catch off the backboard and
to the free throw line now.
Cornerbrook looking very comfortable right now. And if I'm Coach Bruce with Holy Heart, I'm uncomfortable with their being comfortable. That's exactly a recipe for disaster for this Holy Heart team if they want to be successful and win this Hall of Fame Cup here this weekend.
14-point edge for Cornerbrook now. Stolen by Barker. Hancock. Back to Barker. Picks up his dribble. And there on the weak side is Hughes, wide open underneath.
Cannot let Barker walk through the key like that unchecked. Holy Heart player had him on the top, decided to let him go. Best player in the province? I'd think twice about letting him go.
Hancock to Barker again. Top of the key. In and out for Nick Taylor. Saves it. And there's Barker. One try, second try, third try, and he gets it.
Barker needs to dunk that basketball on the first try. More than capable of dunking it, you've got to be thinking flush poster when you catch the ball like that going towards the rim in traffic. Why not?
Chislett. Bambrick. Nowhere to drive. A shot, and again a miss. And if you're Holy Heart, you need this. You need to see one of those balls drop through the rim because Cornerbrook has all the momentum right now.
Again, another breakdown defensively for Holy Heart.
Bambrick misses again, and there's Dobbin. Barker elevates, draws iron. There to defend and grab the defensive board is Anderson. Bambrick swatted by Dobbin. And timeout will be taken by the Highlanders. Correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, but after Coach Fu called the timeout in that first quarter, I don't think the Highlanders have scored a basket.
This lead is ballooning up now to 20-point lead. Great call to call a timeout by Coach Bruce. I don't know what he's going to be saying in this timeout, but they need to check themselves on the defensive end of the basketball court if they're going to have any chance of scoring on the other end.
21-point lead for Cornerbrook, firing on all cylinders. Their starters are all in the game besides the younger guy, Nick Taylor. For Cornerbrook, this is a level of competition they don't get to play with a lot during the regular season, at least when it comes to high school basketball. In conversations with the coaching staff, a lot of their training involves playing with players who are in their 20s, their mid-20s, former varsity players in the Cornerbrook area. So really a team like Cornerbrook, which is kind of isolated in terms of the competitive level on the West Coast, has to find innovative ways to be able to play at a high level.
Absolutely. You know, being so far away from the capital city is not a disadvantage to any program out there listening across the island. You know, if you're in Grand Falls, Gander, Goose Bay, Wabush, it doesn't matter. What you are going to miss out on in terms of getting that game experience, you have lots of time to train and practice. These players should be practicing 3-4 times a week per game. So it's not a disadvantage to live on the other side of the province, away from all the congestion of basketball tournaments in the city. And that's why they're the number one team in the province right now, because they practice and they train a lot.
Highlanders coming off a made basket, looking to see if they can spark the offense. It's tipped into the backcourt, and it'll drop out of bounds, but last touch by the Titans.
And they're fresh, and it means a lot to them. It's not just another tournament. It's not, you know, I see a lot of athletes, you know, playing 4 or 5 weekends in a row, tournament after tournament after tournament, 4 games in 36 hours. It takes a toll on these young athletes. They become burnt out, and they're not their freshest, and they're not their best. Dunk the ball, big guy.
Very close to dunk, and in every game I've seen Corner Brook play, they've had at least a few flushes.
If I don't see a few flushes in this game, I'm getting my $3 back. Great value. You want to talk about exciting
We
value.
can see one right here. Instead, the Euro step lay-in.
Great footwork, nice finish. A lot of upside for this kid, Barker. Where he will go, only him and his family know their decision. But I know this, he's going to be playing CIS basketball next season.
Anderson, shot clock almost expiring. Got it. Down low, Anderson. And rebound to Hughes. Outlet for Hancock. Another easy lay-in.
No time to hang your head off a miss. You have to be aware that this Corner Brook team is fit, like to run. They're long, lead pass, arms stretched out. Doesn't take very long for this Corner Brook team to attack you in the open court.
Here they come on the counter. Barker, Hughes, lay in on the left side this time. 40-13, this lead is getting huge right now for Corner Brook. We're in the second, and 5 minutes have gone by in this quarter. McIsaac for 3. And there's Dobbin with another rebound. He's working on about 10 rebounds now, very close to it. Coast to coast, lays it in, and one. Timeout will be taken by the Highlanders at this point, as Corner Brook is running away with this one.
Too much, too fast, too big, too strong. Right now for this Holy Heart team, it's gut check time. You are down 29 early in this basketball game. How bad do you want to win it? You have to come out here, you have to stick to the script. You have to go back to what you've been doing all year. You have to get back into your offense. You have to get the basketball moving. You have to get comfortable in your own game plan. Execute as best as possible, and you have to bust your butt back. When things don't go right, you have to get back and guard that basket.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Scott. At least half the points for Corner Brook, if not more, have come on the fast break. Easy lay-ins on the left side, on the right side. And a lot of those fast break points coming off of turnovers.
You know, as a young basketball player, you get mesmerized by watching the basketball. But you're watching the shots, you know, guys taking three-pointers, and you've got your head arcing looking at the three-point shot going towards the basket. You have to be able to know exactly at all times where your man is, where your check is, and get back and play defense, giving up way too many. I know this team is fast. I know they're long. You have no excuses here in a championship game. You have to know where your player is at all times. Get back, and you have to be accountable for your responsibility.
And Dobbin completes the and one.
Corner
Lead
Brook
now
mixing
30.
it up with a press here. Godden doing a good job.
McIsaac for 3. Another shot draws iron. Anderson will battle for the rebound, win the battle, then a loose ball foul, looking like it could go against Tyler Weiss. And it is against Weiss. That's his second.
BCG, Ben Clowder-Gergen, great young player, lots of talent. I see him in the gym all the time, a good shooter, needs to come out and try to get something going to the basket, get his confidence up right off the start.
Another rebound tipped into the hands of Dobbin for Barker. Lays it in, and one opportunity here for Barker. With all the scouts in attendance here and coaches, why not show out?
Absolutely. Every time you step on the basketball court, you've got to be showing your best and trying to put on a show and entertain and represent yourself and your school.
Godin throws the pass out of bounds. And this Highlanders team really needs to find something to rally around here as we're entering the final 4 minutes of play in the second quarter.
Needs something to rally around, or someone needs to step up. Body language is terrible right now.
Is that Dobbin? Yeah, Dobbin for three. The big man getting involved and showing some smiles and maybe a scowl on his face. He's one tough competitor. Saved from going out of bounds. Shot from Anderson. The shooting woes continue for the Highlanders. Dobbin wide open on the weak side again.
Not a bad possession for Holy Heart, a little bit better. Anderson catching the ball in the high post, squaring up, taking a good shot. If I'm Holy Heart, we want to build on that offensively. Looks like they're getting into a little bit of a flow here. Nice entry pass. Got to take it to these big guys.
Gotten on the hesitation, steps
Nice
inside,
shot.
and a shot finally does drop for the Highlanders. They trail by 35 now.
Now they need us. Now they just need to add up, get some stops going, get a string of stops.
Beautiful pass from Dobbin to Taylor. So first it was Dobbin getting set up on the weak side, and then he finds Taylor on the next possession.
Nick Fowler checking into the game for Holy Heart. Great opportunity for this young player to step up in a big moment and assert some leadership. You don't have to wait till you're in grade 12 to become a leader.
In the game also a substitute is Cody Power for Corner Brook. Dobbin catch and shoot three ball, draws iron, but there's Power for the rebound. Shot from mid-range is good. (54-15) the score now as we enter the 2 minute before the break. Trap comes.
Nice pass.
And then wide open, an easy bucket, maybe the first one in the game for Holy Heart, for Lucas Ivey.
Holy Heart needs to just settle down here now, stay positive, keep working hard, chipping away at this lead. They have the firepower. Holy Heart has the firepower. Sam McIsaac, Bambrick, Nick Fowler, Liam Chislett, all these guys can fill it up. They need to just stick with the script, stay positive, get some good shots, and try to string together a run here at Corner Brook. Let's get them squeezing the stick a little bit.
A little bit of a squeeze the stick moment there. A rare one from Dobbin as he double dribbled.
And listen, this is the provincial team they're playing here. And their coach is the provincial team coach. They're in tough, big time. It's not always going to be, everything's not always going to go your way, and you're gonna win, with this beautiful victory. You might have to scrap it out and grind it out and pull off a 30-point comeback. It can happen.
Kick ball off the foot of Dobbin. Inbounding will be Bambrick.
Nick Fowler needs to be aggressive here, yes.
Blocked by Dobbin. We'll see who they tag that against. I think it was was it 11 or 13?
Looks like it was Dobbin picking up the foul there, going to the bench. Number 16, Nathan Bennett.
Tough one against Dobbin. I didn't quite see the contact. Saw the block. At the line is Nick Fowler, who you said on that last drive, he's got to take it strong to the rack, and that's exactly what he did.
You know, you have to respect Corner Brook players, but you can't fear them. And if you're going to have any success against a big team, You have to take it to them, attack them. Again, like we said earlier, try to get some of these Cornerbrook players in a little bit of foul trouble, send them to the bench, get some of these reserves on the court.
And that's what they're doing here is another trip to the free throw line for Bambrick. And this could be just what that young man needs because he's been having a tough morning/afternoon from the field goal, from his field goal percentage. And he gets one to go.
You know, young player, you're so excited, championship moment. You want it to happen for yourself so bad. You know you have the tools, you know, to be able to light it up in that, but you can't force the issue. You have to let the game come to you. Very tough lessons for younger players to learn, but the great ones learn it, and they learn it early.
Final 40 seconds of the first half. Gathered up by Fowler from the baseline. Tipped up again by Anderson, but Weiss comes down with it. Pushes the pace. Right to the rim for Tyler Weiss. Final possession of the first half. Bambrick swarmed back outside, top of the key. In the corner for three. Falls short, and we end the first half. The score after two, 56-18 for the #1 ranked Cornerbrook Titans. A dominant display in that first half by the team from Western Newfoundland. Right now, we're ready to throw over to Steve Power, our sideline reporter. Take it away, Steve.
Here with Tom Warren, president of the Newfoundland Labrador Basketball Association. Tom, tell us a little bit about the role of the NLBA and what exactly you guys do for basketball here in the province.
Sure. NLBA, we're the governing body of basketball within the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. We focus on minor tournaments as well as senior tournaments. We put off many provincial tournaments during the year, both school tournaments, club championship tournaments, as well as men and women's tournaments.
And this tournament in particular, the Hall of Fame Cup, the Elite Eight, so to say, I know you have a committee who ranks the teams, and tell us a little bit about that. And from where I stand, this tournament's been a very great success.
It's been a great success. Basically, the committee, we sit several times through the year. We get out as much as we can to try to watch both the male and female high school teams, as well as, of course, we sit down, we analyze the scores, the schedules, and through that, the committee puts together top 8 teams, both male and female, which are invited to this prestigious tournament.
And I would assume no one ever turns you down. They must just come all the time because the tournament is a first-class event.
I've sat on the committee now for a number of years, and to my knowledge, we haven't had nobody deny us yet. Everyone comes to it, everyone looks forward to it. And, of course, the people or the teams that are ranked number 9 and number 10, they're always, of course, hoping that someone's going to back out, but no such luck.
And that's a testament to you, the job you guys do with your volunteer board and your employees at the NLBHA. Great job and continued success for the future. Back to you, Jeremy.
Newfoundland Labrador Basketball Association, Tom Warren. So here we are, 3 minutes before the start of the second half. If you're on the Highlanders' side, and looks like he's pulled his team aside into the corner to talk things over, what can you do in that second half against the talent, the length, the athleticism, the size, the speed? I mean, you name it, Cornerbrook brings it. What are you going to do to counteract the forces here?
Maybe you name it. Put it out on the table. Guys, they're bigger than us. They're faster than us. They're better than us. Obviously, it's a 38-point game here at halftime. Holy Heart, you know, you have to respect your opponent, but you cannot play in fear of your opponent. Holy Heart, if they're going to be successful in the second half, and again, like I said, they got plenty of firepower down on that side of the basketball court. They need to attack this team, get Cornerbrook on their heels, get them squeezing the stick. Cornerbrook's supposed to win. Cornerbrook is supposed to win this year, so take it to them. You have nothing to lose at this point.
With that being said, we're ready to head back over to Steve Power on the sidelines with another interview. Over to you, Steve.
White of the 2017 Men's Canada Games team for our province here in Newfoundland, Labrador. Might need a stepladder for this interview. Blair of the prestigious Brother Rice Celtics program. Blair, tell us a little bit about the upcoming Canada Games and what your expectations are for your team, Newfoundland, Labrador.
We still got about 35 kids around the province competing in the program right now and working on their individual skills. We got some kids getting better. We're not consistent enough right now to really make any expectations, but if we can get some more consistency going in the program, we'll be able to compete around the country.
And what you see here in the Elite Eight and just in high school basketball in general, I know off camera we talked a little bit about this Cornerbrook team and how good they really are. Who are some of the guys we should be really watching out for? And fellas, you might see potentially have somewhat of a future in basketball.
Definitely Barker and Dobbin out here. Frank's done a great job coaching these kids out there. They're probably one of the best IQ'd basketball teams we've had come out of the province in a while. And Barker and Dobbin are ready for CIS right now, and I know Pete's heavily interested in both of them.
That's fantastic. And yes, Frank Fu, the head coach, one of the true gentlemen here around the court as well. I haven't heard anybody with a negative thing to say about the man. Good luck to you in Winnipeg, Blair, and thanks for taking time to speak with us.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Steve. And he was there joined by Blair White, head coach of the Canada Games team. That Canada Games coming up, is it 2017?
2017.
2017.
Clock is ticking, boys. Clock is ticking. Blair talked about consistency. Jeremy, I'm out around these gyms. I'm training some of these younger players. I see a lot of these younger players. It's very difficult for the modern kid. I didn't have a cell phone when I was playing on the Canada Games program. Every moment these kids have those electronic cell phones, iPads, PlayStations in their hands. I had a basketball in my hands. So these kids trying out, and what an opportunity. Blair White has won a CIS championship. He is a great coach. It's right there for those kids that really want to step up. Like he said, be consistent. They have to get in the gym, consistent work day in and day out. Less than 500 days until the Canada Games.
And Scott, I just want to pick your brain one more time. This Cornerbrook team is looking amazing.
Amazing.
They were great last year with a lot of the same players in the
Greater
lineup.
this year.
Better this year. But in terms of all-time teams, you've been on the scene since the early 90s. How does this team stack up in the history of boys basketball in the province?
Wow, great question. I had a chance as a younger player to go watch some of the great Rice teams that Blair White played on. When I graduated in high school in 1992, across the street from my O'Donnell High School was Mount Pearl Senior High. Had two kids on the team that played with Team Canada's under-16 team, Tim Beckett and Chris Gill, Chris Gill's involved in the youth development right now. They had 5 or 6 players who played at the CIS level. In my mind, they are the all-time best high school basketball team ever from this province. I tell you what, right now, if this Cornerbrook team were to play them today, I would pay a little more than $3 to see that game. and they mentioned Frank Fu, unbelievable program he's got going. Doesn't matter where you are in this province, you can run an outstanding basketball program. Let Cornerbrook be the example for anyone out there wanting to start or take their basketball program to the next level.
Here's a shot, and hitting it is Fowler, getting his team on the scoreboard to start the second half. But to remind you, Bellline TV1, the official broadcaster of the Hall of Fame Cup. All games covered this year, presented online, www.bellline.ca/TV1. Bellline, there's more to love with fiber op. Turnover there, a rare one. Here come the Highlanders. The reverse won't drop. They'll battle for it. Ends up in the hands of Wise. Wise able to turn the corner.
Positive look at the basket for Holy Heart. Need to be tougher in the paint.
Back come the Highlanders. McIsaac off glass. And there's Dobbin once again cleaning the boards.
Taking it to Cornerbrook here. I like what I'm seeing. We might be in for a little bit better of a second half. We hope so, because that girls' game was a cracker.
Into overtime. Final minute, buzzer-beating type shots. And back comes Cornerbrook, led by Hughes.
Need to sprint back to basketball court.
Hughes hands off to Power. Wise on the wing. Dobbin posting. Turnaround left-hand shot. Short. And picked off by Power. Hughes loses it.
There we go.
Chislett with McIsaac. McIsaac gets there underneath and taps it in.
Holy Heart with a lot more energy coming out, looking, body language, a little more confidence gaining as the seconds tick away here.
Hughes top of the key to Dobbin. Hughes, left hand won't go.
Very weak defensively. You know, Corner Brook just passing the basketball around at will.
But right there to stick the putback is Bamberg after the nasty swat.
Fowler needs to, you know, understand that Dobbin is chasing him down every time. Use the basket as a defender. Come on the other side.
And there's Hughes slashing right to the rim, showing off that sheer athleticism.
Nice strong pump fake. Get Dobbin off his feet. And one. But I like the aggressive play from Holy Heart coming out.
In and out.
You know, we mentioned shot selection. These three-pointers I don't think are the greatest shots that they're taking, but they haven't gotten any luck. Not one falling for them so far.
A little tricky pass there. Hughes found Joyce, but no points result. Chislett.
Nice take, nice shot. Four guys standing around watching him. Not going to cut it.
Dobbin down low and one. The foul is actually against, I heard white 10. No, black 10. So not in the act of shooting. And Hughes to inbound. Pick set by Dobbin, gives Hughes some space for three. He got it.
Great play. Sean Vinicum electing to go under the screen. Hughes heads up play, recognizing his defender going under the screen. Takes a shot.
Another rebound for Dobbin. He's on his way to a Hassan Whiteside type of performance in this game. Up, off glass, and this time Joyce will be headed to the free throw line.
You know, if there was a knock against this Corner Brook team in the last couple of years, it was the play of their guards. But I tell you, this kid, number 7, Chris Hughes, is much, much improved over the course of his young basketball career. Great player in a lineage of many great players from Corner Brook. Jason Buckle, I'll throw that name out there for anyone listening. Back in the 90s. Outstanding guard from Corner Brook.
Another solid guard was the son of head coach Frank Fu, Daniel Fu.
I see among games, I see Daniel Fu stepping on the court. I don't know why everyone doesn't chant Fu. Start that for me, Jeremy.
Just like teams with Roberto Luongo would chant Lou.
Absolutely.
It's not that much of a stretch to turn it into Fu.
Not much of a stretch. Very easy to do.
And that's a very humorous chant too, because it almost sounds like boo, but it's meant to spark your team.
I would never boo Daniel Fu. Great player. I mean, you want to talk about that Munn basketball team. I mean, you more than anyone know that team. They've made great strides in the last couple years. And if I'm a young high school basketball player in Newfoundland, I'm wanting to wear that red and white. I'm wanting to play in front of the hometown crowd and make history and become the first team to win the AUS. I know if I was 17 again, that's what I'd be thinking about.
Yeah, those final games of the season will be happening next Friday and Saturday.
St. FX.
St. FX coming to town. Still a chance the men's team makes the playoffs if they win both and get the beneficiary of a couple losses from St. FX and other teams.
Sure. I was on the first MUN team that I know of to beat X in X. I can still remember it. We were in the van, had Rage Against Machine on blast before the game. Went in and got the W. Blair White was there.
As we saw Barker hit a pull-up J, and he might be in St. FX next year.
Nick Fowler. More Nick Fowler. More, please.
And Nick Fowler, he's a guy who's still got a few years left. Is that right, in high school?
Young player, grade 10. Canada Games hopeful. And I'm telling you right now, one of the most talented kids that I've seen. And I see him in the gym working. Work harder. We need to work harder. So do I. I say that. I throw that out there, people. You know, I understand it's not easy, but you know, to compete with the best in Canada, and that's what I hope these kids are doing. This Corner Brook team, you know, I talked online last year. I challenged North Pole Hoops, who are great, and I really like those guys. I have a lot of respect for them. You know, I said, why wasn't a team from Newfoundland in the top 50 high schools? And partially it's because we don't have the exposure and we don't get to play enough teams to get ranked. But this Corner Brook team, if there's 50 teams in Canada that can beat this Corner Brook team, I'd like to know.
Yeah, I'd like to know. I'd be surprised. So talking about hard work.
15, maybe. 50, not a chance.
You heard it here first, folks. This Corner Brook team can run with the best. Some of those basketball programs in Canada, according to our expert, Scott Knoftel. Talking about hard work, throw it out to the fans out there. Who works harder, Scott Knoftel or Britney Spears? You were reminding me of that song by Britney Spears. You got to work.
I've never been compared to Britney Spears, but hey, listen, I try. It's got me this far.
There's a chance on the baseline and to the free throw line for Liam Chislett.
That's a great sign right there of why this team is down 35 points. Your point guard goes in, draws a foul, gets splattered on the floor, and nobody's picking him up. Unexcusable. Should be 4 guys going over there, lifting him off the floor.
As the Highlanders have silently gone on a bit of a streak here. Up to 33 points, almost half the score of Corner Brook. Hancock, guarded by Chislett. He'll drop it off for Taylor.
If Holy Heart can get on a little bit of a run here, get 6-7 points and hold Corner Brook to none, get above the 40 mark going into fourth, make a little run. Never know. I've seen it happen.
Chislett headmans the pass to Sparrow. Fowler hops in, jumper from the elbow, won't go.
Little hesitation there. Would have liked to seen that go from the three-point line. Put it on the floor. Follow through, big guy.
Here's Allen.
Played great last night. Nick Fowler did in the semifinals to get Holy Heart here, as did Sam McIsaac. Been playing well the last couple of weeks for this team. Liam Chislett. Sean Vinnycoon been the glue. Bambrick hitting some big shots. Again, this Holy Heart team has the firepower.
As we see Matt Bennett at the free throw line. In the game, as Chris Dobbin, the Octopus, is on the bench in a bit of foul trouble. Barker, the rebound. Another rebound. And is fouled going up and will go and shoot 2. Substitute in the game for Holy Heart as Ben CG comes in, Clouder Gergen.
Hard-working kid. played very well last year for Newfoundland in the national championships in Halifax. Very well. Standout player for us last year. Going to have a great high school career. Not easy as a grade 10 to step into these big moments. Lights, cameras, action. You just have to play basketball.
Yeah, big difference here than in the old Hart Gymnasium. Fowler for three. And rebound in the hands of Barker.
Not a bad shot there from Nick. Like I said, catching the ball in rhythm, follow through.
Taylor.
Shoot to score.
With a shot of his own. He's been a bit ice cold now in the third quarter.
A lot of great players in this tournament. Matt McCrow for Gonzaga. Fantastic.
Some of the best handles you'll see.
Jason Thompson, another great player out of Waterford Valley.
I don't think there's a player in this tournament who has to do more for his team than Jason Thompson.
You know, that's the challenge. You know, for some of our standout players, you wanna do it all. And as a young player, you have to understand that you're not necessarily at your best when you're trying to do it all and carry these teams.
Islanders will get it back. Is checking in the game is Linehan again. He'll relieve Nick Fowler.
Very impressed with that mobile team this weekend.
The mobile team, the Fatima team as well. For such a small school, I believe there's only 60 individuals in the school. Good luck getting a basketball team out of that and getting a basketball team that's competitive enough to be playing at such a high level.
Unbelievable. You know, just a testament to the tradition at some of these schools up on the Southern Shore in the St. Bride's area. Fatima, of course, you know, Janine Brown and the boat, the best of all time. Carl English, Trapassi, Stella Maris doing a great job there. 30-something kids in the school with a basketball team.
Clouder Gergen loses it on his way to the basket. Last touch by the Titans. Yeah, that Southern Shore, Cape Shore area.
It's back. I'm telling you right now, from what I've seen this weekend, seeing that mobile boys team and the mobile girls team, basketball is not dead in these small outport communities. In fact, Steve and I talked about last night, we mentioned it on Twitter, about combining some of these smaller schools, a resettlement, if you would, a co-team, I would like to say, where, you know, if your school has less than 100 kids and you got to go up against the Waterford Valleys and the Holy Hearts, why not find out, have the discussion, create a strategy to combine these schools that are close to each other geographically and that have just, you know, a very small, dwindling student population. Combine these two schools, and I think it's a great step, and I hope the NLBA really looks at it and takes this suggestion into consideration and has a serious look at it, because I think it's great for the overall basketball development around the province. Labrador, I'm not leaving you out too. I want to see some Labrador teams in this Elite Eight.
And while we are digressing, Holy Heart has really caught fire. They're now at 40 points.
Here's that 40-point mark that I mentioned. If they could get to that, little bit of momentum.
The buzzer sounds, end of the third quarter. Holy Heart, their best quarter by far in that third. They go up to 40, and for the Cornbrook Titans, they sit at 70, able to rest the majority of their starters. I believe the only player on the floor to end that quarter was Hancock, who was in the starting lineup. But a 30-point lead, 10 minutes to go here on Championship Sunday. Bell Alliant TV1 bringing you the broadcast of the Hall of Fame Cup. With Bell Alliant, there's more to love with fiber op. And Steve Bauer is once again on the sidelines. And we're going to throw to him to get his take on that third quarter. Over to you, Steve.
Not sure if it's a take on the third quarter or not, but just an observation, guys. How good do you think Dobbin and Barker would look in a Seahawks jersey next year?
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
They would, well, Caleb Gould is a guy who's graduating this year, and I think they could slot in, or at least Dobbin could, in a very similar position to Gould.
Absolutely, and as a first-year university player next year, these guys is local talent. The word around the gym is that's going to happen.
It'd be good to see. I know Barker has been actively recruited. We're hearing Dobbin as well. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a guy like maybe Tyler Wise or even Hughes make a run at, a walk-on roster spot. Who knows? Thanks for that, Steve.
Jeremy, you're heavily involved with these Seahawks programs and know more than I do. As a fan, I'm a fan and I played on the team. I would love to see both our men's and women's team start to fill up the roster with Newfoundland athletes. I'm not trying to take any experiences or opportunities away from the outstanding young people we have coming to the province to represent our team. I'm trying to give some opportunities to our local teams. I played on the Mun team in 95, made the playoffs, completely Newfoundland roster. A great feeling. If we could get back somewhere, find a balance there, wouldn't that be great for the basketball community?
As we reset, fourth quarter underway, a 30-point margin in favor of the Corner Brook Titans. And a carry, double dribble that is, in the open court by Cody Power. So folks, we're talking about Mun basketball. We'll remind you, those games next weekend are available on AUSTV.ca, powered by Bell Alliant.
Can't thank Bell Alliant enough for the opportunity. Me personally to do this. This is like the fountain of youth, to come here and see these athletes go at it. It's great. It's great to see, Billy Murphy, the executive director of the NLBA, coached me when I was on the under-17 provincial team. And the level of play has been very impressive. Just that women's championship game alone was fantastic. To see this Corner Brook team play is a thrill, and Holy Heart up until this point have had a great tournament, playing very well. Hopefully they can salvage some of this game in the last 9 minutes. Matt Hancock,
excellent take. He's a guy who's been given a lot of playing minutes in this game when some of the starters are rested. And fouling, sending Kyle Linehan to the free throw line.
Jeremy, if I can make a shameless plug, I have a podcast called The Pine Podcast, local basketball podcast. We've had 11 episodes, 14 hours, all free. Go to iTunes, search basketball training, and you'll see the NLBT logo. I had Billy Murphy on. If you want to know the ins and outs of the NLBA, I suggest listening to that podcast. Billy came to the house. We sat down in the basement next to the fire, and we had a chat for an hour about the NLBA and what goes on. I know they briefly talked about it in the interview. Very enlightening to me. I have a new respect for the NLBA and how difficult it is. They have 3 people on staff. Of course, Billy, Judy Byrne, and Laura Chapman. Laura's birthday today. We'll give her a birthday shout out. To run these events across the province with 3 people. I have a small training business. I have 3 people that work for me, and we have about 100 kids involved. They have probably 5,000 kids. They have a big target on their back. Everyone likes the NLBA, blame the NLBA. Take a listen to the podcast. You'll get an idea of how underfunded they are, understaffed. But I think they're doing a pretty good job, a very good job.
And that's the Pine Podcast featuring fireside basketball chats with Scott Noftel.
Not everyone is by the fire, but yes, there's a wood stove present.
Oh, wood stove. That's even better.
Had another Hall of Famer, Ted Byrne, on the program. Great episode.
Here's Corner Brook. 5 quick points were scored there by Hancock as he hit a 3-ball recently. There's Donovan. Skips out, going up, and denied is Cody Power.
Nice rebound there. Alex Sparrow doing a good job. Young player, grade 10, getting up some experience.
And Scott, I'm getting a shout out coming in, asking us a friend of mine, Pat Hickey in Corner Brook, remember, he says, don't forget about another great Corner Brook product, Robbie Hickey.
Robbie Hickey. Not familiar with Robbie. We'll take your word for it. Probably a little bit before my time or a little bit after. Trent McClellan, another Corner Brook native, doing very well in the stand-up comedy scene. He was a guest on the Pine podcast, next to the fireplace.
Always great to have a comedian on a podcast, spice things up.
You know, talking about the having Trent on the show was great because, you know, gave you a little inside scoop about the history of basketball in the Corner Brook area. Again, you know, the theme of bringing these co-teams and Bishops and Booth coming together to form Waterford Valley. Herdman, Regina came together. Now you have the powerhouse Corner Brook High. It just makes sense to bring some of these smaller schools together to be able to compete with these you know, just larger schools, bigger student bodies. Great tradition of basketball in the Corner Brook area.
Ball deflects out of bounds. Corner Brook will retain possession. 6:31 left in this final quarter. Championship Sunday here on Bellline TV1. With Bellline Fiber Up, there's more to love. Quick catch and shoot from the baseline is good. Extends the lead. 77-48 for the Titans.
Ethan Allen getting his name on the championship score sheet. Alex Sparrow, great aggressive play.
Hancock trying for some showtime passing. And Hancock loves those no-look passes, whether it's a shovel pass, skip pass, drop pass. He's one of those guys who's always trying to entertain the crowd. Power.
Nice ball movement.
In the corner for three. Nothing but net.
Nice ball movement. You want to talk about well coached and well prepared? There's your bench.
Pull up from the free throw line, draws iron. Offensive board to Clouder Gergen.
Nice floater up over the outstretched arms of those Corner Brook defenders. This kid's in the gym.
On the block, big Matt Bennett sticks it.
Alex Sparrow got caught directly behind the defender. Wants to be over on the side or full front. Never want to be directly behind the post-up player.
Foul against Nick Taylor.
Especially when you're giving up a few inches.
And substitute checks in. Daniel Godin back in the game for Holy Heart. He'll relieve Liam Chislett.
Liam Chislett is a great young player, gaining experience from this tournament. Going to be representing Newfoundland at the Canada Games. I'm pretty sure. And who knows, maybe follow in his father's footsteps and play for the Seahawks at someday. Someday, kid has the tools.
Top of the key. Here drop for Fowler. Not Fowler, Allen. Power again in that corner, and he cans the three ball. The answer's not there.
I tell you what, going back to that debate about who is the best high school basketball team of all time, this Corner Brook team is going to have the win to 4As this year. For me to have a serious conversation about them beating Tim Beckett, Chris Gill, John Coger, Glenn Suley, Mike Suley.
We'll have to wait a month or two before we get into that. That tournament usually happening in March sometime. Is that correct?
March 23rd, I believe it is.
And it's going to be in Corner Brook this year.
Corner Brook, and I'm going to try my best to be there. So if anyone in the Corner Brook area got a futon, let me know.
Scott Knoftel on the couch surfing scene in Corner Brook. Love it. Talk about fountain of youth. Nothing like sleeping on a couch.
Oh, man. Hey, listen, bring me right back to my university days.
83-50, your score. Titans are going to get the ball back after a front court, back court violation.
You know, not a great play there from Daniel Gooden, but I tell you what, that kid has impressed me this weekend with his play. Just a great defender, not an exceptional offensive player, but steady and competitive.
Beautiful no-look feed. Hancock to Bennett. And this Corner Brook bench, they've gone toe-to-toe with every unit they've faced in this Hall of Fame Cup weekend. It's very impressive to watch.
Very consistent. Again, well prepared and well practiced. They're in the gym. They're playing. They're training. You know, when Canada basketball suggests that we have a game to practice ratio 3-to-1. So if you come into a tournament and you play 4 games, now you have to have 12 practices to make up for that 4 games that you played. If you have 5 days until your next tournament and play another 4 games, now you're 24 practices behind the 8 ball, according to Canada basketball, right? So, you know, I know these kids and these coaches want to get out and play games, but we need to cut back on these smaller tournaments that we're having. I'd love to see, ideally, in the high school basketball circuit, kind of like they have in tennis, where they have a Grand Slam event kind of thing. You go to the Hall of Fame Cup, you have a tournament here, a tournament here. They can have some kind of a rotation system, but we need to get our kids out in the gym, practicing, working on the fundamentals of basketball.
Nice take there. Another 2 points, this time courtesy of Ryan Joyce. And yeah, Scott, exactly what you're saying. The development really happens in the gym. If you don't get the practice time in, you're not going to be able to learn, because these games aren't for learning moments unless it's in the final seconds. But if you're learning new moves, new tricks.
Doesn't happen here.
Doesn't happen.
The learning doesn't happen here. The showcasing of what you've learned happens, you know, in these environments. Now, I know people listening, a lot of coaches listening now, they just screaming at the monitor saying, what about gym time? I know gym time is a huge challenge for schools and coaches and teams to find gym time. Gym time in this area is at a premium. That's why the smaller schools, you have an advantage. You have a free range at your gym for most part for these smaller communities. Coaches in the city, gym time, stop having these tournaments. Have a weekend free where all you do is practice. Have 4 practices in a weekend. Why not? Practice Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, and maybe have a game or a scrimmage on Sunday evening. That's the steps we need to be taking in the Newfoundland Labrador basketball community, in my humble opinion. Nice free throw, Alex Sparrow. Great form.
And completes the and one. 3 points the old-fashioned way. The score 87-55 now for Corner Brook, and we are 2 minutes to go before the trophy will be handed out at the Hall of Fame Cup. Into Bennett on the block. Faces up, back outside, top of the key. Joyce dumps into Bennett. Spin move, goes up, left hand. Can't stick it. Power with the steal. Nice pass to the back door, but unable to save it is Green. So very different feel to this championship final compared to the female one we saw earlier. But you got to hand it to the Corner Brook side. They've able to rest their bench and are up by 32 points with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go.
Just on another level, this Holy Heart team, I'm sure they're going to be disappointed, and it wasn't a great performance, but they've had some great performances just in the last 10 days around the city. Their tournament last weekend, they went 5-0, exciting games. This weekend, they've had some great games, great moments. Just coming up, you know, against one of the best of all-time high school basketball teams from this province, a team that can compete with any team in the country. Your first crack at them in this environment, you have to go away from this, take the positives, build. I always say to the kids, you can get bitter or you can get better. And I think Coach Bruce and the Highlanders are going to choose the latter. They're going to get better. They're going to learn from this experience. and come back and compete with this team as we saw on the girls' side with St. Kevin's. St. Kevin's, up against the powerhouse. Unbelievable game. For those that didn't see it, I don't know if you can email Bell and try to get a copy of the game. Might want to sell them, boys. $20 a pop.
Yeah,
I'll take a cut, and we're and just a great championship game, and a great way to end this weekend.
And that timeout was taken by Coach Frank Fu. And if you have him, use him. And I think Frank Fu took that timeout and used it as a moment to allow his players to enjoy being in the moment this championship game. We saw the bench unit play very strong. And no point in finishing the game off quickly without having time to kind of savor the moment.
Got his starters back in.
With 46 seconds remaining.
Another thing about this Corner Brook team, very, very classy. Not rubbing it in here, not showboating, just great to see. Inspiring group of young men, a privilege to watch, and an honor to call the game.
Total class. The team from Corner Brook willing to go with the shot clock violation, as they just want to end this one out. For three, there you go. Clowder-Gergen.
I'm telling you, this kid, Ben Clowder-Gergen, he has something inside him. He has a drive and a work ethic. He's going to do great things in his career to come in the 18th and the 19th Hall of Fame Cup coming up in a couple years.
The buzzer sounds. The final, 89-60, in favor of the number 1 ranked Corner Brook Titans over the Holy Heart Highlanders. Corner Brook came out quickly in that first quarter, got out to there was a time in that first quarter where the score was 14-11. The Highlanders had battled back into the game, and Frank Fu called the timeout, and from that point, the team has not looked back. Went up as many as almost 40, and they finish up by 29. As we get the handshake line. A lot of these players in Corner Brook are in their final year of eligibility. We mentioned Dobbin, Barker, Tyler Weiss, Chris Hughes, to name a few.
And their work is not done. They're not satisfied. I'm sure they're happy right now to win this Hall of Fame Cup, but they're not satisfied until they get that monkey off their back and win that 4A provincial championship banner and raise it to the roof of the Corner Brook High School. So that's part of this team. You see the class and not showboating. They know they've got work to do. This is a focus group, very dangerous.
And right now we're about ready to check in with Steve Power on the sidelines. He's there with Nathan Barker for the Corner Brook Titans. So we'll throw over to Steve.
Here with Corner Brook Titans star Nathan Barker. Nathan, seemed easy, seemed probably a little too easy all weekend. You guys are, in my opinion, you're just that good. One of the brightest stars here in Corner Brook. Talk to me a little bit about your team and your coach, Frank Fu.
Well, to do good in tournament stuff, what we do, focus on defense the most, really. Focus on closing out our man and trapping the ball so we can get steals, and then leaves the easy offense. You run the floor and we score. That's what Frank always emphasizes. Like, we don't need to set anything up if we can get steals, get stops, and run the floor before the defense can even get back and set up. That's what Frank mostly emphasizes.
Your coach is a class act. You are too as a young man. Got a bright future ahead in basketball. Any idea what's going to happen for you in the future?
I'm hoping to play university ball, maybe here in St. John's at Munn. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do.
I think the Seahawks would be very, very fortunate to have you. Congratulations, Nathan. Best of luck in the future.
Okay, thank you.
It's Nathan Barker, Corner Brook Titans, number 11, star player and potentially future Munn Seahawk. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Steve. And we'll cross our fingers on that one. At least all the Seahawks fans out there will.
No need to hope, Nathan. No need to hope, buddy. Sign the deal and get that jersey fitted. Pick your number. Can't wait to see him play.
And for a player like that, hearing the words coming out on his responses, you it just exudes honesty and humbleness. And when you have those kind of qualities, you're going to be a coach's favorite. So Coach Peter Benoit, he'd be very lucky, I know, to
Absolutely.
get a guy like him. That being said, we're almost ready to wrap up our broadcast here. We'll recap the score, 89-60. The Corner Brook Titans defeating the Holy Heart Highlanders in the Hall of Fame Cup 2016 version, the 17th running of the Hall of Fame Cup here from the Powerplex in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. I'd like to thank our broadcast crew, including Tristram Clark, Mike Pittman, Mark Chafe, Jeff Barber, Steve Power, our sideline reporter, Scott Noftel beside me. Great color from you today. What's next for Scott Noftel in the land of basketball?
You know, I'm just trying to find my place here within the basketball community. Opportunities like this are huge for me. We have a basketball training program called Next Level Basketball Training. We have lots of great players involved, young athletes, and I'm just going to keep plugging away until Newfoundland and Labrador represents in the way that I think we can. I think we can compete with the best in the country, and I'm not stopping until we get there.
There you go. Final word on that from Scott Noftel. My name is Jeremy Reynolds, thanking you for joining us on Bell Line Fiber Op TV1. With Bell Line Fiber Op, there's more to love. Have a great Sunday, everybody. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Jeremy. Thanks, everyone, for listening. I really appreciate it. My throat is toast.
Take care, everybody.